Hey folks, how you doing? Good to be with you. Missed you for, I believe, a couple of weeks or a week or so. But here today I want to talk about mysticism. A lot of people think that mysticism is something bad, maybe destructive, evil. Well, it depends on how a person attempts to use whatever he's involved in relative to mysticism. But mysticism can also be used to develop one internally. A person can develop him or herself. Uh, like development of the soul. Yeah, that would come under mysticism. Because we're talking about a force that is not seen, an unknown force or an unseen force that a person may try to elicit for protection, power, strength, whatever. Okay? So people use, charms like the rabbit's foot, four-leaf clover, cross, horseshoe, rosary beads. These articles represent an unknown force that the folks who wear these or possess these objects want to elicit that force for some assistance. So the person goes to the casino and he has a good luck charm, whatever it may be. He believes that there is a force, unknown force that he cannot see, that he wishes to call on to come and help him win. Well, this is mysticism. Because that's what a mystic does. He calls on a force that is unknown, at least unknown to ordinary people. Okay? But the ordinary people believe that the force is there, or whatever they might call it. Some people might call it God, you see. And so they call on God for assistance in some way or another. That's a mysticism. But God is an unknown force. People call on unknown forces within themselves. They want to develop their soul development. The ancient scriptures, or the mythology, from which all religions have come, believe in this mysticism. The scriptures tell people how to live, how to develop themselves, how to develop their souls, how to resurrect in this life and from this life into the next. You can find that in mythology and in your religious scriptures. Mythology tells people how to develop themselves so that they can live healthy, prosperous lives in this world and in the next. Well, that's all mysticism. So we have a better idea now of mysticism, that everybody is involved to some degree with mysticism. Because when they call on that unknown force for assistance, that is mysticism. It's what it is. You see. Sure. It may go further. We may say it's in carrying a rabbit's foot or a four-leaf clover. But nevertheless, whatever route a person takes, they're calling on an unknown force. So we have the cross. That we carry, well, people carry a cross. Christians, I presume, they carry a cross. And in fact, there's a double cross. It involves mysticism. Now, the double cross is one that we see all the time. We see a cross, and we see Jesus nailed to the cross. So we have the cross, and with Jesus is nailed to the cross in cross form, with his arms out, his legs together, nailed to the bottom of the cross. So he takes the form of the cross. So that's a double cross. The cross itself and Jesus on the cross gives us the double cross. Okay? This cross deals with Jesus on it. It deals with death and resurrection. Death and resurrection. That's the double cross. So we also see in the Kimite spiritual system, the Osirian system, for example, Isis and Osiris, or Osset and Osiris. And we also see on King Tut's tomb, or his mummy, etc., the covering of the sarcophagus. We see that he has his arms crossed. That's death. But we also see that he has two emblems, scepters, that are crossed too. They would come out there like that. So that would be a double cross. Say my thumbs are the emblems. Kind of small, but yeah, they do. Give the general idea. Well, the cross emblems, okay, are resurrection. They stand for resurrection. So we have a death and we have a resurrection. The same as Jesus on the cross. Death and resurrection. You see? This double cross action is nothing new. It's been with people for tens and tens of thousands of years. Okay? And it has to do with mysticism. Of course, resurrection does, whether it's in this life, to resurrect from ignorance to knowledge, or whether it's resurrecting from this life after death of the body into the afterlife. Same principle. And so mysticism is throughout the Bible. Mysticism was a property, we can say, of every society throughout human history, or prior to human history too. It has been a fixture, okay, in the people of every society on this planet. Though mysticism is nothing new, it's nothing to be afraid of. People engage in it all the time. They just might not be aware that they're dealing with mysticism when they use the four-leaf clover, rabbit's foot, or the cross or whatever. But that is in effect what they're doing. It's mysticism. But when it comes to development of the soul, which should be, I would imagine, would be important to every human being. Okay? But when it comes to development of the soul, the people have to go within, okay? And create forms within ourselves. That is, in development of the soul, which is development of the true self, people develop forms within. These forms are attributes, okay? And that can be used to help a person do life, make life a lot easier by developing these attributes within, which is soul development. And the attributes, okay, from these attributes come more attributes. It's like once you get the ball to rolling, the more you pick up on. Other religious scriptures tell us this. All religious scriptures, whatever the religion is, all religious scriptures are based on ancient mythology, ancient African mythology, which was disseminated throughout the world by the Ethiopians and primarily by the ancient Egyptians. All religions, okay, are derived from this mythology. All of them. So, if you know the mythology, you know all the religions. So let's look at what the Bible was saying about, I presume, one of the patriarchs. It is said that his seed will multiply upon the earth. And they talk about, well, he begets this one, and then this one begets this one, and this one, and that one, and so forth and so on. And so we can get an image of the multiplication of the descendants, okay, of this character who had the blessing of multiplying and having many great posterity. Well, that's the same thing as I was just saying when I mentioned that attribute after attribute after attribute can be created within the human being. The human being can do this for himself in terms of soul development. Developing his soul, developing his attributes, developing an uncorrupted inner body, the soul, that can be willed or directed after the death of this body to leave the body, after death of the body, to leave the body and go to where the person directs it to go. In other words, the type of life that the person wants to live after death of this body, when he goes into the hereafter, he can determine that. He can affect that to become true and real by developing his soul and the attributes that he wished to have in order to be an asset to himself and to those around him wherever he goes in his next life. But you can do the same thing in this life, too. Now, of course, you develop the attributes in this life, same way, you see. So, the character in the Bible who multiplied his seed and had great posterity, they were talking about attributes. This character was developing attributes, his own attributes, you see, for his own well-being, prosperity, good health, etc. in this life, and this will take him into the afterlife too. He wills that to happen. So you come up with a whole soul. You come up with the one. You can call it the Holy Ghost. Right? But it will take you into a better life here and a better life hereafter. But this is all mysticism. When we develop these inner attributes, it is mysticism. That's what it is. It is throughout the Kimite mythology. That is the ancient Egyptian mythology. This is throughout the mythology. Development of these attributes. Development of the soul. The resurrection from, in this life, from ignorance to knowledge. You see. And on death of the body, from this earth life to the next life. That's the resurrection. You see. And this is beneficial to every human being who even attempts to do it and say, let's say, sticks with it in this life. Will certainly improve his life. And he will also develop greater perceptual capacity. He will begin to see things that he hadn't been seeing. He'll begin to see things that ordinary people simply don't see. Through soul development. Yeah. So people figure, well, you know, I was born with a soul. Yeah, you were. People are born with substance. Like a child comes into the world, he has to be taught, he has to be educated, he has to be raised up. And the same thing with our soul. We have to develop the soul into what we want it to be. Okay? So that's an idea of mysticism, you see. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of that. You have an idea that, yes, you can develop your soul, you see, to be what you want it to be. You see. Subscribe. I have many, many things to talk about. It will be of value to us, especially if you're a person who believes in the mythology. You see, you believe in a religion. If you believe in a religion, you believe in mythology. All religions are based on ancient African mythology. Understand the mythology, understand that mythology, and you will understand every religion without even opening up their book, their religious scriptures. You will understand every religion because every religion is derived from the ancient African mythology. Study the mythology. If you have time, learn the hieroglyphic writings. That will help you tremendously. Okay. Thank you, and subscribe. Okay. Bye-bye.